This excerpt is from the book entitled Elohim the Archetype, Original Pattern of the Universe, written by Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. This excerpt is called The Number 7 Denotes Perfection. I will begin. There are 7 steps, dimensions, or planes, often referred to as heavens, whereas there are but 3 heavens. See 2 Corinthians 12 and 1-4, which leads to perfection. The 7 steps, dimensions, or planes are revealed in the pattern of the tabernacle, and in the greater and more perfect tabernacle, the universe, called the migratory pattern, which was pitched by Yahweh Elohim and not the man, Moses. Hebrews 8 and 2. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of the Messiah, let us go on unto perfection, not laying down again the foundation of repentance from dead works, and of faith toward Yahweh, of the doctrine of baptisms, and of laying on of hands, and of resurrection of the dead, and of eternal judgment. Hebrews 6 and 1-2. The 7th plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the Israelites entering Canaan, or the Promised Land, their final earthly inheritance, is compared to the most holy place in the tabernacle, a type of heaven, and was fulfilled by Yahshua the Messiah, who entered not into the holy place made with hands, but into heaven itself. Joshua 14 and 1-3, Exodus 26 and 34, Hebrews 6 and 19-20, and Hebrews 9 and 24. The 6th plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the parting of the river Jordan, forming the second veil between the wilderness of Sinai and Canaan land, and is compared to the dividing veil of blue, purple, and the scarlet which hung between the sanctuary and most holy place in the tabernacle, and was fulfilled by Yahshua the Messiah when he took off the veil of his flesh and ascended into heaven. Joshua 3 and 1-17, Exodus 26 and 31-34, and Hebrews 10 and 20. The 5th plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the wilderness of Sinai, where Israel received the law in tabernacle with its ceremonies, with the presence of Elohim among them, and is compared to the sanctuary of the tabernacle with its furniture for ceremonial purposes, overlaid with gold, and fulfilled by Yahshua, who said, I am the light of the world, the bread of life, and intercessor. Exodus 19 and 1-3, Exodus 24 and 12-14, Exodus 30 and 45-46, John 8 and 12, John 6 and 35, John 17th chapter. The 4th plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the parting of the waters of the Red Sea, forming an entrance into the wilderness, and is compared to the first veil or door of the tabernacle, and was fulfilled by Yahshua the Messiah, who said, I am the door, by me if any man enter, he shall be saved. Exodus 14 and 21, Exodus 36 and 37, John 10 and 7. The 3rd plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the baptism of the Israelites in the cloud and in the sea as they fled from the Egyptians, and is compared to the brazen laver in the court of the tabernacle for washing and cleansing purposes, and fulfilled by Yahshua by washing the disciples' feet. Exodus 13 and 21, Exodus 14 and 15-16, Exodus 30 and 18-21, and John 13 and 4-5. The 2nd plane is represented in the migratory pattern by the slaying and eating of the Paschal lamb in the preparedness to leave out of Egypt, and is compared to the sacrifice of sin offering on the altar in the outer court of the tabernacle, and was fulfilled by the prepared body of Yahshua, the Passover lamb, slain for the sins of the world. Exodus 12 and 1 to 12, Exodus 20 and 24, and 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. The first plain is represented in the migratory pattern by the door or entrance into the houses of the Israelites, on which the blood of the lamb was put on the lintel and 2 side posts. It is compared to the gate or entrance into the tabernacle, and was fulfilled by Yahshua when he said, "Enter in at the straight gate." Exodus 12 and 22, Exodus 40 and 8, Exodus 28 and 16, and Matthew 7 and 13. The number 7 in Jewish theology denotes perfection. The Jews were commanded of Elohim to observe 7 events, which ended in a week of days, week of weeks, week of years, week of years, week of millenniums, and a week of ages, which are as follows. 1. There are 7 days in a week of days, which ends with a Sabbath day, Saturday. Exodus 20 and 8 to 11, and Leviticus 23 and 3. 2. There are 7 weeks in a week of weeks, which ends with the Feast of Pentecost. Leviticus 23 and 9 to 14, and Leviticus 15 and 22. 3. There are 7 months in a week of months, which ends with a Feast of Tabernacles. Leviticus 23 and 1 to 44. 4. There are 7 years in a week of years, which ends with a Sabbath year. Exodus 21 and 2, and Leviticus 25 and 1 to 7. 5. There are a week of weeks of years, which ends with the year of Jubilee. Leviticus 25 and 8 to 17. 6. There are 7 millenniums in a week of millenniums, which ends with a Sabbath of immortality. 2 Peter 3 and 8, and Psalms 90 and 4. 7. There are 7 ages in a week of ages, which ends with a completion of the purpose of Yahweh before ushering in a new order of things, as Yahweh is eternal. Ephesians 2 and 7. There are other references of 7, such as 7 days of creation, Genesis 2 and 2, and Exodus 20 and 11. 7 priests with 7 trumpets, Josiah 6 and 4. 7 branched candlesticks, Exodus 25 and 31 to 38, and Revelations 1 and 12. Solomon's temple was 7 years in building, 1 Kings 6 and 38. The blood was sprinkled 7 times before the mercy seat, Leviticus 4 and 6. There were 7 feasts of Yahweh, which lasted 7 days each, Leviticus 23 and 1 to 44. The book of Revelation was addressed to the 7 assemblies, Revelation 1 and 4. There are 7 spirits before the throne of Yahweh, Revelation 1 and 4, and Revelation 5 and 6. 7 stars, Revelation 1 and 16, 2 and 1, and 3 and 1, and Revelation 1 and 20. 7 seals, Revelation 5 and 1. 7 angels, Revelation 15 and 1 to 6. 7 trumpets, Revelation 8 and 2. 7 vials, Revelation 21 and 9. 7 heads, Revelation 17 and 3. 7 crowns, Revelation 12 and 3. 7 thunders, Revelation 10 and 3. 7 eyes, Revelation 5 and 6. There are many other references to 7 denoting perfection. This has been an excerpt from the book entitled Elohim the Archetype, Original Pattern of the Universe, written by Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley. The number 7 denotes perfection, narrated by Yahshuans giving glory.